Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and I feel like this is a topic we have talked about over and over and over again throughout Hearthstone's history, but this time it's really has to stop, and that is the largest problem that continues to dominate the Hearthstone metagame. And if you're not aware of what we're looking at two 15 14 giant rune bears, or I think there's a mythical rune bear coming out on turn 4, sometimes earlier than that. And it's not just this deck, there is just a constant pattern of Hearthstone being way too liberal, way too just throwing out cards that can mass mana cheat, create insane scams. And yeah, we have a balance patch coming out tomorrow, but it barely covers anything that's happening. And I just want to point out that this keeps happening, and I would just, for one expansion, I would love for this tweet to become true, where society would be perfect if, you know, there was no mana cheat in Hearthstone. I'm sure we'd bitch about something else. But regardless, we're going to talk about that. If you enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like, as it helps us out a ton. And it will have a video tomorrow about the patch going live, how you can earn your free new Death Knight card and all of that. But yeah, this has been the MO right now in Hearthstone, is stuff like this, right? Your opponent plays something ridiculous early, and you either can kill them through it, you happen to have an answer, or more likely, you blow up, right? And there are so many examples in Standard at the moment of strategies like this. And for this one, I believe the card's called like Reserve Spot, that creates a situation where you have, you know, mass mana cheat discount on that card, making, if you only have one mini in your hand, cost less. And we have, again, I think it's the mythical rune bear, but the problem of the summon a copy of this issue, we have seen so many times, whether it's Serenite Shingang, which got nerfed again, twice, it had to get hit multiple times. Zergling, again, that one got hit pretty quickly, or at least led to Shafar getting nerfed, and then that got nerfed for that very reason of doubling up on that mana cheat, right? It gets double the mana cheat. But it's not just this type of deck, right? Pocket Train, I feel like every expansion has a new tweak because he's grinding high legend, and this is all they're facing. You have the Agamagan Warlock, which is getting nerfed significantly. I think I called it a nudge originally. It's not a nudge. I think the Rogue is more of a nudge. Regardless, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, being OTK'd, again, we have 6 mana crystals here, 6, and it can happen sooner than that. It can happen as early like turn 4 if you get really lucky with the ramp card. But again, a card like Dorian creating mass mana cheat, the card itself is what does it. And it is annoying that they're gonna probably kill this deck, but Cursed Catacombs is the card that gets hit, not the card that enables, creates the mass mana cheat. It just kind of supports it, right? I guess it's an enabler of the archetype. It's not what actually creates it. And that really annoys me. I'd rather they kill Dorian, leave one of the few really powerful cards from this expansion, because we don't have a lot as playable. It might still be playable. It might still be really good. It's 0 mana draw card. It's probably still really good. I just, you get the point, right? Like Dorian popped up as originally at 4 mana, was a problem in Standard and Wild of this mass mana cheat situation. Another example that, again, Pocket Trade tweeted out, I think this was like 2 patches in a row of nice patch, with 2 examples alone in one. You can see this is, again, turn 4. Although Pocket Train is 6 mana, it's turn 4 for the Paladin of 2 0 mana 8/8s, 2 0 mana 3/3s. Again, because of a card like Flickering Lightbot can go to 0 mana, can create a ton of mana cheat. And then when you look at Druid, you have Amir Dristle, the highest mulligan win rate card in all of Hearthstone right now. What does it do? It doesn't technically cheat mana, but it kind of, it refreshes it with 6 total over like what, the 5 turns you play it, you gotta wait 2, and then you gotta wait 2 again. Regardless, it's a ton of mana cheat alongside other ramp. It creates a possible turn 5, 6, 7 OTK, where the game, again, what decisions really matter when stats are coming this early, or if you're getting OTK'd really, really early. And most of these strategies aren't even getting nerfed, by the way, right? The Paladin is not getting nerfed. The Druid is not getting nerfed. The Hunter, not getting nerfed. So the patch tomorrow, there's a reason I'm not super optimistic about it. These scam strategies, which are arguably the best, are going to remain. They're hitting a couple, kind of, but that's it. And yeah, the other one, which has already been nerfed, I could make a whole video breaking down the amount of cards that Cycle Rogue has had nerfed. It's just insane over the last few years, but we'll just go with the recent ones. Twisted Webweaver, again, doesn't cheat mana. It's a 1-mana auctioneer, sorry, 2-mana auctioneer now. We have the Phoenix, right, getting nerfs because it was infinite mana cheat. Essentially could kill it, replay it, kill it, replay it. You can still replay it a bunch of times for 0. And now we're getting the Playhouse Giant going to 25 mana. To me, that's a nudge. That's a turn. That's typically a turn for that deck, which, as you can see, there's multiple giants out here. Actually, you can't see, my head's in the way. You can see the multiple giant. This is on turn 3. It's on turn 3. That got slowed down a little bit because you can't replay the Phoenix, but they're slowing it down again with Playhouse Giant. And I'm just going to say, I know I'm a broken record, but it's for a reason. They keep nerfing the cards for the Cycle Rogue deck, except the cards that enable everything always for Rogue in Prep, in Shadow Step, and tweeted after the last patch, not this one coming up, after the last patch, no matter what, right? No matter what you nerf, as long as Prep and Step remain core, remain untouched in Rogue, they're going to continuously create the top tier decks that will always get nerfed. It's always top Legend for the most part. It's always like high skill cap, play a bunch of green cards. But as long as Step and Prep are there, and why is that? Because of mass mana cheat. That's just always the answer to these decks being problems. And to me, these are the decks that make me uninstall. I know there's people that can't stand the aggro decks or can't stand the Murloc Paladins, but I feel like those are like incrementally, either doing more damage or getting a larger board. I feel like that is more healthy. Often it's overtuned, but it's more healthy than just play a bunch of crap really early and win the game before it even begins, or OTK before it even begins, right? To me, that's frustrating. It happens in one big swoop, whereas aggro, they're trying to rush you down. If you get your answers, you might be able to kill them. A scam deck like this, there's no real answer for a lot of these scams. There's just no answer. You lose, right? And if you look at the Hearthstone meta itself, we take a look at that. That's what a lot of these decks are. The best deck at Legend, according to HS Replay, is the Hand Buff Hunter. Then you have an aggro deck and an aggro deck, which I don't see a ton of when I play at High Legend. I swear, all I face are the scan decks. And you have another aggro deck, but then Dummy Warrior. It's a deck I didn't even talk about, which uses like the Scrap Heap, I don't know, the 2-mana spell to cheat out more stuff, right? To basically scam. Same with like Chemical Spill. That gets your turtle for another scam. We got Cycle Rogue, which is a scam deck. Agabagan Warlock, which is a scam deck. And then you got the Bandage Priest, which is an OTK deck. And yeah, there are some aggro options out there, but you notice a trend. Even Protoss Priest, to me, I can't stand it because, again, you take a look at what is it, Sentry, the 2-mana card they keep bringing back and back. What does that do? It leads to mass mana cheat. The issue for Protoss Priest is it's slower than the other scan decks, right? That's basically it. But I feel like if all these get dialed back, and that's what I'm going to kind of talk about here, that's the issue of what I have coming up with this patch. This patch, to me, like, I guess they weren't planning on doing anything and they thought we'd hit a couple of things. It's not gonna make anybody happier. This patch, if anything, is just gonna piss people off. It's gonna piss the people off that abuse Rogue and the Cycle Rogue and want it to be as good as before. Abuse Agabagon Warlock, be like, well, why can't I have my scam deck when these 5 other ones exist? And then the other people that are sick of facing the scam decks are still going to be facing scam decks, right? This has like been a problem, that this whole, like, first off, whack-a-mole of just hitting one of them and then the other one takes over. I feel like every single deck that has this big mass mana cheat turn that just outright wins the game should be nuked from Hearthstone. Like, I'm okay with a good aggro deck. I'm okay with a good mid-range deck. I'm okay with a good control deck. Although I can't stand this silliness of Kill Jaded. What should happen to the card in the Reddit nerf or the Blizzard nerf, and what they want a condition for the card, like play 5 demons, which is, again, I think makes sense for a card that negates all fatigue, basically creates every control or warps every control deck to play this certain way. But they would just like nerf a stat point or a mana. And that's the other thing I want to talk about, is by doing the whackable thing and only hitting 1 or 2 of the scam decks at once, it doesn't change anything because there's another scam deck that'll take its place. We already see like hand buff hunters arguably better anyways. But the other issue I have are these stupid nudges. They're not killing these decks, right? How many times have they nerfed Cycle Rogue? How many times have they nerfed it now? Consecutive patches, it feels like. It's been a ton. And almost every deck I've shown here, like Agamagon Warlock technically had been nerfed already because Dorian had been nerfed. The Flickering Lightbot had been nerfed already. The Spell Damage Druid had been nerfed already. Cycle Rogue, like I said, these decks have been nerfed a ton, but they don't do the things where they actually kill the toxic play pattern. They nudge it. They nudge it, and then they let something else catch up. Then they nerf that thing that catches up, and then the scam deck that they didn't kill catches up. The exception to the rule, which was a good thing in my opinion, was Murmur, or let's say Naralax. They actually reworked the cards to stop being these scam cards that constantly create problems. And I wish, first off, we didn't make these cards, but second, if we have a card like Flickering Lightbot that can come down for 0 mana really quickly, stop it from coming down really quickly, right? Just stop it. Make it so that, again, I keep saying this, it costs 1 less for each turn you played a holy spell. So if it does come down for 0, it's on turn 8. It's not absurdly early. And I want to just kind of end off the video about, you know, the way that mana cheat has escalated in Hearthstone, where it used to be like a mountain giant, you had to like accrue cards in your hand. It couldn't even go to 0 mana until later, I guess, with like Veldris or whatever it was called. But a card like that, where it kind of had like a built-in downside, where almost all these mana cheat cards almost don't. Reserve Spa is an example of one that does, where you need to have an empty hand of minions, so 1 minion, and like Gilly can screw that up. But for the most part, it's do the strategy you're already gonna do, and then get an insane upside with it. And yeah, I just thought Dane put it really eloquently, better than I could ever put it. So let's listen to a clip from Dane to end off the video, and just talking about Playhouse Giant, which is going to 25, in which I just can't stand that it's getting nudged. It might kill the deck, you never know, but why not just hit the actual problem of it coming out too soon? Anyways, let's talk about the kind of flaw inherently with that card, period.
Original Giants were designed in mind of, you have to sacrifice something in order to play these 8/8s. Molten Giant, you have to sacrifice 20 HP to play them for 0. Mountain Giant, you have to sacrifice turns and obtain cards in hand to play them for cheap. You know, these were all original Giants. They knew the stats were good, so there have to be a downside to the Giants. Now Giants in modern day Hearthstone, drawing your entire fucking deck isn't a downside. That's a massive benefit. You know, card draw in a card game is a big boon to the deck. So the fact that you're doing something positive and playing Giants for 0 is a massive fucking mistake. There is no downside to playing the Giants anymore.
So yeah, I thought Dan put that really well, and I mean, we've seen that a lot in Hearthstone, that there's just not a lot of downsides to everything. Your premium stated minions with upside, but again, I guess I'll say it as the rogue hater in me these days, or for these years now, a class that's designed around incentivize of just drawing a lot of cards and cheating a lot of mana keeps getting nerfed almost every single balance patch and always dominating, at least at higher legend, maybe not lower, but higher legend. It's just kind of an inherent flaw to always have this mass mana cheat and things that just get even more incentive to do it. Like just literally doing your game plan and doing these broken things just makes for less meaningful Hearthstone games, right? When these blowouts happen, when these scams happen, it just, why am I playing? There's no decision to make. It doesn't feel good. And yeah, this approach of nudging or just whack-a-moling, to me, it's not the answer. And I'm really hoping the next real balance patch, we will see some real nukes, or do the other thing, buff the crap out of everything, and just go back to, I guess, last summer's Perils of Paradise, when we're all like blowing up and being OTK'd like every single game by every deck. So I don't know. That wasn't a lot of fun either. So we'll see what they end up doing. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.